Just when I think that there was enough indie platformers that blend in with the plentiful that there are nowadays, along comes a title like Guacamelee that just proves that people should still pay attention to the genre and how it surpasses what inspired it in many ways. Developed by Drinkbox Studios, the game is in one way an homage to titles like Metroid or Muramasa, as well as a stepping stone by creating a few ideas of its own, without being too overbearing. You play Juan, a poor farmer living in poverty whose life gets interrupted one day when an evil skeleton, Carlos Calica, kidnaps the love of his life. He's killed, but brought back to life by the power of an ancient mystical luchador mask, which grants him incredible powers. From there, the game kinda takes a cliche turn of events as Juan journeys to distant lands trailing Calica at every turn in order to save the woman of his dreams. So either way, the story has the same end goal that we've seen in classic platformers of the past, and nothing really invents the world in a way. But that's sort of the point, as the world is vibrant and touching to make the story really flow. It throws a lot of quirky side characters that never get overused, and makes the luchador-like setting one that you'll never get tired of. Trust me, you'll never get tired of Guacamelee. Unless it's a hard boss, which is pretty much your own damn fault in that case. Like I said, this game is an homage to the Metroidvania games of the past, and uses most of those elements to lead the player through different areas to gain new abilities and skills to aid Juan through his quest. But to say such a stark statement truly underwhelms the game's impeccable pacing and direction. With the new abilities that Juan uses, you don't just forget that they exist later on or just use them for one segment. The game mixes up these power-ups in areas that were gated beforehand, not just from when you obtain them, but later on in a more intricate puzzle that puts those abilities to the test. At first they're easy, and rightfully so, but become incredibly tough in a way that you'll blame yourself rather than the game, although you might if you rage easily. This also appears in the game's combat, which not only feels extremely tight and responsive, but has depth that matches the level design. It's more Castle Crashers than Mark of the Ninja, that's for sure. Juan embraces his luchador powers with fantastic results. Combat allows for great freedom in combos and throws. You have your punches, uppercuts, and air attacks, but the abilities later gained to break colored blocks serve Juan to chain combos and finish with an endless fury of throws. Gotta keep up that combo count somehow. Sure, there are moments where if you're a hardened action game player or fighting game player that it can feel a bit easy, but as you gain a repertoire of moves that you can learn at the various skulls around the game, then it becomes more obvious that you'll need everything to fight Calica's forces, from the difficult bosses that he throws to Calica himself. Oh, and his puzzles. Speaking of the puzzles, there are some head-scratchers ranging from the challenging jumping segments to ones revolving around portals and interdimensional jumping, but if you collect all those secret orbs you find, you'll get rewards ranging from alternate costumes to a different ending. So there is some incentive to completing these puzzles. Platforming aside, this game isn't the hardest in the world, especially when beating Super Meat Boy in VVV, or if you're an old school Mega Man or Ninja Gaiden fan. But it still puts up a challenge. Like I said, the utilization of Juan's moves and mixture of level design is what makes it shine in the end though. It even has a co-op mode, but to this end the game's design doesn't really work around that. But back to the shininess. And boy, what a shiny game it is. It looks so much different from the rather dull and drab pixelated art that indie games are all sporting nowadays. The presentation of this game is a sight for the eyes, and proves that using common aesthetics and artwork over processing power, a more true statement. Guacamelee is just dripping with the style of Mexican culture, and just makes exploring the world so much more appealing. Oh, and it has a catchy soundtrack as well. So overall, Guacamelee doesn't overstay its welcome and can be conquered around several hours, but it will take longer to get all the secrets if you want that coveted 100%. But even if you don't care about that, this is one of the best indie games you can get right now for cheap on Steam or PS3, and a must buy if you love 2D action adventure games. Overall, Guacamelee won't waste your time. It is a fun experience and I highly recommend playing it.